This is the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Thursday, the 4th of January. I'm Michael Groff. Get ready for the coldest temperatures we've had so far this winter season, maybe the coldest we've had in several years around here over the next several days. So along with those below average temperatures, an opportunity for some precipitation in here on Sunday. The question is, will we see some low elevation snow? That's always exciting to talk about. And so much more going on too. So let's get into it here first. Take a peek at that almanac from yesterday. 64 degrees the afternoon high, 45 the morning low, 65, 66, and 45 are those averages. And despite all that fanfare last night with that cold front coming on in here and all those winds and some blowing dust that we had, just 1/100th of an inch of rain officially in the bucket at Sky Harbor. And that's all most of you had. A few spots saw a little bit more, but that was not a big rain producer as we anticipated. And that sunrise, by the way, right now, 7:33 a.m. That's the latest that the sunrise gets around here. It will start getting earlier from this point out. I know Clayton was asking about that on the comments yesterday, but over the next few days, 7:33 a.m. will be the sunrise. Outside now at 8:45 a.m., a few clouds. And we're sitting at 46 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point 39, humidity 76%. It's a light wind, and the barometer is steady. The upper level weather pattern across the nation shows that system that came through here last night. It is moving off into New Mexico. Behind it, we are left with a dry northwesterly flow. That means cooler air is coming on in here, that cool air advection. Meanwhile, with that system, we still have a big mess. Winter storm warnings for the mountains of New Mexico, spilling out into the plain states, winter weather advisories, some dense fog advisories over the plains as well. And again, with that cool air around here, we've got a freeze watch for parts of northwest Pinal County, freeze warnings for southern Pinal and parts of Pima County. And the convective outlook for today, no organized severe weather across the nation, but some thunder possible with that system over New Mexico, Texas, the Gulf Coast. Here's the precipitation outlook. This is valid through Thursday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix around 1/10 of an inch, give or take. And that's with the system that's due in here on Sunday. Kind of an interesting feature, and we're going to talk about that along with these cold temperatures and what else the future may have in store for us right now as we get to the models. Take a look at it. This is the GFS. It is the 06Z run. This is valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Area of low pressure continues to move away from us. Dry northwesterly flow in its wake. Cool air behind it. What it means for us down at the surface for today. Few showers and some rain and snow over eastern Arizona, but we are going to dry out. Partly cloudy this morning, mostly sunny this afternoon. High temperatures, mid to upper 50s, around 7 to 11 degrees below where we ought to be for this time of year. Now tonight, with that drier air in here, clear sky, overnight lows, it's going to get chilly. We'll be pretty close to freezing in the cold spots, around 40 for the urban core, and that means tomorrow morning when you wake up, some areas of frost are possible in the morning. If you have those frost-sensitive plants, and again, you live in some of the cooler spots, maybe not necessarily downtown Phoenix or the Biltmore or Arcadia, but or central Phoenix, whatever. But if you're in the cooler areas, I would go ahead and cover up those plants tonight. Then tomorrow, some sun around in the morning, a few clouds in the afternoon, high temperatures, again, coolish, mid-50s to about 60. Let's go to Saturday. And again, the day is looking pretty quiet, mostly sunny, maybe some clouds coming in by the afternoon, high temperatures close to 60, but our next weather system is lurking to the northwest of us. And by Sunday, that's going to dive southeast. It's going to come in here, and there's still some question marks as to how this plays out, okay? The GFS has been kind of pivoting back and forth on these deeper solutions, and then a little bit shallower angle of this coming in, and then a deeper solution. Now we're back to a slightly shallower angle with this feature, but I think the forecast is going to play out relatively close to the same way. This is not a moisture-rich system, okay? There's actually not much moisture at all with it, but it is a strong, cold system. And those cold core features, they have, strong dynamics, very energetic. So what it lacks in moisture, the dynamics should make up for in squeezing out whatever moisture there is in the atmosphere. So we'll see showers becoming likely on Sunday here in Phoenix. Now, it's not going to rain all day. This is just going to be kind of a showery, cool, raw sort of day. Highs low to mid 50s. And the big question with this, too, is then on Sunday night, as the cold core of this system comes on through the real, brunt of the cool air comes in with this, Yeah, we could see a couple of snow showers down to the lower elevations, maybe down to about 3,000 feet. So if you're in North Scottsdale, we've mentioned this the last several days, Carefree, Cave Creek, New River, Anthem, up in the Four Peaks, the McDowells, in Thompson Peak, you're up there. Might catch a snowflake or two Sunday evening as this comes through. So we're going to mention that in our forecast. But down, if you're in Glendale or Central Phoenix or Avondale, I doubt you're going to see any snow. Just some showers will be possible up until about Sunday evening with this. And again, this is not going to be a drought-busting, heavy precipitation event. We might get 1/10 of an inch of rain, and that's about it out of this. High temperatures, again, on Sunday, low to mid-50s. And then as that system clears out, the cold air comes in. Lows will drop into the upper 20s to mid-30s for Monday morning. Then the day on Monday, we'll see decreasing clouds becoming mostly sunny. High temperatures, though, upper 40s to mid-50s across the area. Very chilly day. Probably the coolest day of the forecast period. And again, with clear sky, dry air, Monday night, Tuesday morning, mid-20s are possible in the coldest valley locations, and even in the urban core, low 30s. Could get pretty close to freezing almost valley-wide. Maybe not at the airport, but just about everywhere else. So again, Monday morning and for sure Tuesday morning, you're going to want to make sure those plants are covered. Bring the pets indoors and take all your precautions necessary for a cold air event, cold weather event. We don't have many of those around here anymore. We used to have these pretty regularly, but they're becoming kind of a thing of the past. But when they do happen, just be aware. And then as we go toward Wednesday, again, another cool start to the day. But then high temperatures will get up into the, I'd say, upper 50s. We'll start to moderate temperatures a bit, but they'll stay below average for much of the forecast period. Here's a week from today. This is Thursday the 11th. We still have broad troughing out here across the western states, so that's not going to change. Temperatures will remain below average in this configuration. But where things get really interesting is when we go out 10 days. This is Saturday the 13th. All right. Look at what we have here. We've got a very cold trough coming through the southwest. How cold is it? Well, upper heights just west of Phoenix at 531 decameters. You do not see that very often. And I will tell you this, if this verifies, we're saying if in quotation marks, italicized, bold, underlined, okay? If that verifies, there'd be a pretty decent chance we could catch some snow here in Phoenix, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and bet you guys a shiny nickel that this will change between now and then, okay? But just something interesting to look at out here. Nevertheless, even if this doesn't pan out exactly as advertised, that still is a very vigorous system and something that should be watched. But, we've seen these advertised, these deep, very powerful, potent systems coming on in here, and then they are not quite that impressive. But something to watch. Nevertheless, and again, what we look for out here at 10 days is model trends. We're not talking about specifics. And the model trend is that active weather will continue and below average temperatures will continue for the next 7 to 10 days. That shows no sign of letting up. And it's kind of good news because we really could use some precipitation. Most of us don't care about the cooler temperatures either, especially when we know what's to come in just a few months. All right, checking out rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. This goes out through the 18th of the month. And just not much, folks. I mean, I'd love to tell you that the ensembles are really being aggressive with precipitation, but they're just not. The means have been coming down here and now generally about 1/4 of an inch or less. And even the European ensemble, same thing. 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch is all we get off these ensembles now. And temperatures off the national blend of models. We've got highs staying below average for the next 7 to 10 days. Again, normal highs around 66 degrees, 66, 67 here in Phoenix this time of year. And we're going to stay below that for a while, and overnight lows are going to get really, really chilly. And again, this is what you're looking at here. This is at Sky Harbor. Many of you will be down in the upper 20s, maybe even mid-20s on a couple of mornings early next week, and low 30s for much of the rest of the valley. and then we'll gradually moderate temperatures a little bit thereafter. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. And if you really like what we do here, you want to support us monetarily, then go ahead and click that little thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and make those monetary contributions. $2, $5, $5,000. It all helps in the furtherance of this channel, and it is all appreciated. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation, and the proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle, so check her out. Check out her travel videos, chronicling her vacation, her solo excursion to the Philippines. We got part 1 and part 2. They are linked down in the description, so please check those out. And thank you also to Topaz, making as much noise as possible doing the video. She sleeps, and then when I start recording, she's here, and of course she wants to. Oh, there she is. See, she wants to show up on the videos. Topaz. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching and all of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please do be safe out there and have yourselves. I'm trying to wrap up the video, Topaz. I just need to hit this button. I know. She's like, Dad, time to go outside. I know. It's chilly out. It's chilly out, girl. She's ready to go. All right. Have a great rest of your Thursday. You are great.